Hi, this is Jason, Certified Holistic Health Practitioner. In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about gluten and GMOs and organic and how they're all related, and especially how they're all related as far as the health issues that we're having right now and how to combat them. So, we're going to start with genetically modified organisms or GMOs. So, basically, what that means is that any fruit, vegetable, grain, nut, seed, bean can be genetically modified. In other words, it can either be crossbred with other organisms, and some of these organisms our body knows what to do with, recognizes it as food, and we've heard of, like other crops. And some of these organisms that these GMOs are bred with are actually foreign. We don't know what they are. Our body doesn't recognize them. So the problem is that genetically modified organisms can be altered to where, number one, besides adding pesticides and herbicides to the soil where they're grown to make them, non-organic, they're also there's hormones that are also being added to the soil as well to make them bigger. So that's why you see a lot of fruits and vegetables that are a lot bigger than what they used to be. Those are genetically modified organisms. So they're being crossbred with other organisms that are foreign to our body, that our body doesn't even recognize. So that's the problem. And when we eat them and they go into our body doesn't know what to do with them because it doesn't recognize them as food. So they don't have the enzymes that are needed anymore to break down in our system. So one of a couple things is going to happen. Either they're going to keep building up in our system and our body's not going to know how to get rid of them, so they keep building up, keep building up, keep building up. They're actually creating autoimmune disorders. So, because what's happening is, since our body doesn't know what to do with it, since our body recognizes it as foreign invaders, not as food, it thinks that it's a foreign invader, so it's going to create an autoimmune response. It's going to create immune cells to go and fight off what our body thinks is an invader when it's actually food. We know it's food, but our body doesn't know it's food. So it's going to create an autoimmune response, and it's going to try to fight off this quote-unquote invader that is in our body. So that's the problem with GMOs, or genetically modified organisms. And so they build up in our body. They keep producing more and more toxins, and then we're going to have to detoxify our body of these foreign invaders, or what our body thinks is foreign invaders, and unless it's still going to keep building up in our system. So that's what happens, and it's really scary. These GMOs, or genetically modified organisms, very, very scary. So how that relates to gluten intolerance is most wheat, which gluten comes from. So there's three major grains that gluten comes from. There's wheat, there's rye, and there's barley. Those are the three major grains that gluten comes from. So this wheat, rye, and barley, especially wheat, since we consume so much wheat, we'll talk about that real quick, is also genetically modified. So that's why we see all this gluten insensitivity, which can eventually turn into celiac, which is gluten insensitivity, right, on steroids, basically. So our body doesn't know what to do with this wheat because it's been genetically modified. It's GMO wheat. So what happens is our body doesn't recognize it as food. It builds up in our system, creates gluten insensitivity, which eventually this gluten builds up in our system, starts eating away at our intestinal walls, and then eventually starts leaking into our bloodstream through our intestinal walls. It actually forms a hole in our intestinal walls. That's what we call leaky gut syndrome. So that's kind of the last stage of what happens. And then we really need to rebuild our intestinal walls. And there's definitely ways to do that. I know this is really scary, but there are ways to combat this. There are ways to heal our digestive system when this happens. So the major way to combat this is by eating certified organic or USDA organic produce or grains or nuts or seeds or beans. So basically, you're going to look for one of two seals. You're going to look for a certified organic, not just organic, it's got to say certified organic, and then it's got to say the state that it was certified organic in, because every state has different standards for for making their stuff organic. So it's got to be certified organic, and it's got to be certified by a specific state. Whatever state it's in, it doesn't really matter. And the other thing, the other type of seal you can look for to make sure that it's organic when it says it's organic is the USDA organic seal. So United States Department of Agriculture seal. So one of those two seals, you know that it's organic for sure. If something just says organic, it's probably not organic. If the only word that it says organic, it's got to say either certified organic, it's got to be certified by whatever state it was grown in and or tested in, or it's got to have the USDA organic seal. So that's how you know. So that's how you combat these issues, is by eating certified organic foods. So that way you know that they're not GMO, because if something is certified organic, it's actually automatically non-GMO. So it has not been genetically modified. So at the very least, we should always be eating non-GMO foods, which are, again, all the things that are grown. You want to look for the non-GMO seal, and ideally also certified organic. Now, organic is the most important with a crop that has either very little skin, a thin skin, or no skin, because the pesticides, if it's not organic, are going to go into the crop. So something that's a little bit thicker peel, for example, like a banana or an orange or a grapefruit, not quite as important to do organic, because the pesticides can't really get into where the fruit is. But again, a thin seal or no seal, you want to definitely do organic. And even the things that have a peel, you want to make sure that at least it's non-GMO. And so again, this goes through for fruits, vegetables, and any kind of crops, anything that's grown. So grains, beans, nuts, seeds, all of those things. So that's the first way to combat that the GMOs, is to buy organic, buy certified organic or USDA organic. So that's how we do it. And then again, there are ways to actually heal our intestinal tract if we've been eating GMO or genetically modified foods. And the ways to do that kind of depends on what's been going on in your body, kind of depends on all the systems that it's affected, whether it's just the digestive system, how much of the digestive system, what the severity is of the digestive system that's infected, and also the immune system, if it's affected the immune system yet, if it's affected our brain yet, if we're getting brain fog, things like that, or if it's affected our endocrine system, such as our thyroid gland, our adrenal glands, things like that. So many of the health issues that we have today can be traced back to what these GMO foods are doing to our digestive system, and then eventually to our other systems in our body. So to heal all of these issues, we need to start with the digestive system. And how we do that depends on the severity of it, and it depends on how many other systems, body systems, have been affected. So to do that, then you definitely need to contact me, and I will let you know exactly, based on what's going on with you, I will let you know exactly the steps to take to help yourself to heal from eating bad foods. And it's not your fault. Most of us don't know what the bad foods are compared to good foods. So definitely contact me, and we will put together a plan for you to heal yourself of whatever ailments that are coming up based on the foods that you're eating. And a lot of times we don't even realize that the problems that we're having are traced back to the foods that we're eating. And it's not just crops. I'll go over a couple other things. Dairy is a big thing too. Dairy is something that we want to do organic, because otherwise, again, it's gonna have the pesticides that of the grains that the cattle is eating, the grass that the cattle is eating. They give them hormones a lot of times, and a lot of other things. So your dairy should also be organic. Now, I personally don't agree with eating dairy after age six anyway, but if you do eat dairy, it should definitely be organic. So dairy is also causing a lot of food sensitivities as well. So it's the grains, it's the produce, it's the dairy that's causing most of our food sensitivities. The most widespread GMO crop is corn, and corn, unfortunately, is in just about everything now. So we need to know how to identify corn ingredients in the ingredient list of foods. And soy is big on genetically modified as well. That's causing a lot of food sensitivities too. Also, egg whites, the albumin, or the white part of the egg, if it's not grown properly, if it's not organic, can cause a lot of food sensitivities as well. So these are all things that we need to know, and I'm trying to cram as much as I can into just a few minutes of video here. But again, if you want optimum health, if you want to get back to the way that you used to feel, energetic and feeling like you're going to live a long time and happy and all that, because there is also a mind-body connection too, then definitely need to contact me. We'll go over whatever's going on with you individually, and we will take care of it. So my website, and I've stated this on other videos too, my website is www.lookfeelbehealthy.com. That's lookfeelbehealthy, LOOKFEELBE, healthy, HEALTHY.com. Lookfeelbehealthy.com. That's my website. All my contact information is on there. My phone number, my email, all that good stuff. So let's get you better, and also stay tuned for my next video. Thanks for watching.